Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And just with the past 3 months, we have received a free Rimuru every month that Season 3 is airing. And this month, between 6/28 and 7/26, is the first anniversary Dark Rimuru. A character who is objectively, pretty good. He did recently get a skill fusion that made him a bit better. But many people this is going to be their first Rimuru ever getting it, so they're not going to have access to the skill fusion. Not too big of a deal. But today we're going to showcase, this Rimuru and what he can do and what he brings to other teams. He was an anniversary character. He was the gimmick character, unfortunately, but, he does still have some decent value across the board. So, looking at his kit, he's on a lot of teams. He's Dark and Magic. He's an AoE character. He's on Commander, She's His Will, Octagram, Demon Lord, Tempest Fleet, and Exalted Champions. Like I said, he's an AoE, Alt, Dark Magic, 290%. His first skill, if it is not skill fused, it is guaranteed crits and 40% crit damage to just Dark allies, and it would be 55 points. So what the skill fusion did is it dropped it down 15 point cost, and it added Tempest Elite to the list of characters that gets the crit damage. So regardless, everybody will get guaranteed crits. If you're Dark, or if you're on Tempest Elite, you get 40% extra crit damage. So that's the only thing that it changed. It made it a bit cheaper, added Tempest Elite. Tempest Elite, not a super great team, but it is what it is. His second skill is a gimmick. So he is able to yoink one ult from the enemy one time per battle and make it his own. So if you're going to be nuked by the masked hero in her free sword stage, you could just use this Rimuru and just not take that ult. And now you have an ult for Rimuru. It does increase skill point gain until the end of battle by 9%. It goes up to 10 if this was actually level 10. I don't really care. I used the skill like twice or something when he came out, and there's no point in leveling up any further and using up those materials. But it's the gimmick. You get a free ult. It only steals one though. So if you're in an AoE fight and all three of them are ulting you, you'll steal the first one, and then you'll get hit by the second and third. So that's the only thing. His actual trait, 6 combo of greens, gets you extra crit damage. Okay, cool. If you're going to use him as a DPS character, it certainly does work out. Along with you combine it with his guaranteed crits and crit damage here, then yeah, it works out pretty well. Alright, so this is his meta. This is Rimuru's full meta when it came out for the first anniversary. Diablo, Isis, still a fantastic free-to-play unit. Grand Admiral Diablo, a physical character with a protector that gives a magic buff. Don't ask me what the fuck they were doing. Rimuru is going to support. Milim was the DPS character, and then Shinshu also was support. This was the entire first anniversary team, and we're going to run it in their Tempered Edge against Gazel, and I forgot it costs a shit ton of stamina to do these now. We do good damage. Veldora is giving that stacking magic buff up to 70%. Rimuru has the guaranteed crits and the crit damage for everybody on this team because they're all Dark. And then Shinsha's got the Dark buff that makes itself a little bit better on turn 8. And then Milim herself has the alt buff and then the personal attack buff. But she is also skill fused, so she gives all Dark allies an attack buff, which, again, everybody is Dark here. But we're focusing on what Rimuru can do for the team, not what anyone else can do. So we're going to try and full buff Milim and, just see what kind of damage we can output here. Let's get Diablo out, because he's actually stupid and useless, and I don't understand why he exists on this team as a physical character. I don't think anyone ever will understand exactly what they were doing there, but hopefully they fire that intern. Okay, well, we can't do much about that except send 4 blues, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, can we get a better hand next turn, please? Please? Yeah, we can work with that. Okay. So Rimuru is going away for Diablo, so we can use his Orb Change, the only thing he's good for. And then Milim's Orb Change, and then we'll start stacking the crit resistance down debuff on, and give ourselves extra skill points on the greens. We'll get Diablo out, we'll bring Isis in, we'll use the green buff as well, Every time you use a skill, Veldora gets stronger and stronger, up to 70%. Every skill you use is 5% magic attack for him. So, I mean, we're just going to make us go higher and higher and higher. And he does raise our skill cap and also resets our skills, which is why Veldora, still to this day, is also a pretty good protector. He's very old, and he was insanely power-crept by Overlord Rimuru, but if you don't have Overlord Rimuru, then Veldora is your only other real stacking option for a green team. Alright, so we have alts for Milim and Shinsha. Alt swapping was not a thing during the first anniversary, or even before then, or even after then, until what the when did alt swapping become a thing? World of Fantasy with the masked hero. I think she was the very first one. Orb change. Let's get Milim out of here. We don't really need her anymore. Let's put the Shinsha debuff on. Okay, that's unfortunate that we have another blue coming in. Let's just go ahead and send this, actually. Let's get Rimuru out. We'll use the Veldora to reset the orb change for for physical Diablo. Oh boy. Alright, let's just send this. I really hope we don't kill, because I do want to actually use Rimuru. 40k. Gazel doesn't have a lot of HP. We didn't have Awakened Gear at the time. We didn't have EX characters, and our support units were pretty not great. Okay, but Gazel does ult somewhere in the future, which is something that we do need to take care of. Alright, let's see. Debuff, green buff. We can reset them again, and then use the orb change. Oh, this is the turn. Okay, so we do have 135 points, so that's good. Let's use that. Let's get Isis out of here, because she's got the buff and Rimuru doesn't. And now we can show off the yoink. So 70 points. So this ult right here he's going to send is not going to happen. Straight up, it's just not going to happen here. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And, just like magic, oh, we pierced there. Alright. And boom, absorb secret skill, and now Rimuru has an EX ult. You know, before EX ults were a thing. But that's how that skill works. It can save you in a very good, specific scenario where it's like a single target, and you're like, oh man, I need to survive this nuke. It's only one character. Rimuru can help you do that. You can only use the skill once, though, so now it's locked. So you can't do anything else with it. But, I think we have enough points here now, so let's just bring Milim in for Diablo. Shinsha's not going to be max power, doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3. So guaranteed crits, the attack buff, crit damage, the alt buff, dark attack up, the magic buff, which is now capped out at 70, and Milim can do pretty good damage here. So, goodbye. Yeah, 237. That was pretty good for the teams back then. And again, it could be stronger because we could have gone a few more turns and Shinsha's buff would have gotten higher. We could have taken Diablo out for another support unit, but, we saw the gimmick at work, and that's what I really wanted to showcase here in this stage. Let's try and make Rimuru a DPS character now. Alright, we're going to try and make him nuke, relatively well. So we're going to go into EX2 of the current beatdown battle for the Determination to Prosper team. They don't have that much health, 182k. So, we're going to have guaranteed crits and crit damage, attack buff and alt damage. They have the element buff, and we'll also have Visions of Coleus Rimuru as a backup nuker. He can get an EX ult if we play our cards right. He'll get all of the other damage buffs from Rimuru and Milim. So, we've shown this team and it works already, but we're going to re-showcase it in case you didn't see that in the original EX2 video. And this will work just fine, because they don't have a lot of HP. First anniversary Rimuru is old. He's coming up on 2 years old at this point. And so his damage is not going to be extraordinary, but it is certainly viable for, lower difficulty stages. And this stage you want to crit, and you want AoEs, so it works out pretty well. So we'll bring both of you in. I think we'll just leave Coleus Rimuru in the back. We'll just send these orbs. I guess I should have sent Veldora last, because he's stronger, huh? Yeah. Okay, well, whatever. You know, that'll work. That will certainly work. It's a good thing we kept him in the back, then. Okay, so we will use the green buff now. Boom. Thank you. Alright. And then we'll bring Coleus Rimuru in for Veldora. We should have enough points, yeah, to use everything, so we will self-convert and then rainbow. So we'll turn most of these into blues and then most of them into rainbows. And we'll send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Gets us an EX ult, gets us an ult for Rimuru, double protector, maximum points, and I think between these two, especially with the EX ult for Coleus Rimuru, we are going to kill here, even with that unfortunate guard. So, 3 turns. I mean, I'm here for it. We only need 2 buffs. So, right now, Rimuru, even if he was not skill fused, we would have enough points, because you just tack on an extra 15 here, and we have a surplus of points still. And everyone would still get the buff, because everyone is dark. You know, Tempest Elite got added, and it lowered the cost. Okay, cool, whatever. But let's go ahead and double buff, which is actually a quad buff. Guarantee crit damage, alt buff, dark attack buff. Now we've got the element buff. Let's send Rimuru. Let's send Coleus. Let's see what damage we get here. 111, and then the EX ult does 200k. I mean, EX too. Even if Rimuru is not skill fused, he's still going to do roughly those numbers based on your dupe level. I mean, that's pretty good. Maybe if Milim wasn't skill fused as well, you'd do a little bit less because you wouldn't get the attack buff. But again, we had double the amount of damage that we needed almost. So, I mean, Rimuru can still suffice as an okay damage support character with that extra gimmick added in for funzy onesies. Alright, last part of the video, gonna put him on the Valor Cup team and make him the AoE DPS character. You know, traditional setting, Velzard, the masked hero for the Orb Steel guy. Again, he's gonna give Exalted Champions the synergy buff, and Rimuru is on Exalted Champions. And then we've got New Year's Blessing Rimuru to get, you know, the rainbow orbs, the points, and everything necessary to do this. So, I mean, he's gonna work fine. He's a solid AoE unit, so there's no reason why he wouldn't work in Valor Cup. Alright, so let's go ahead and just defense to make sure no one dies here. And then we will, I think, hit Hinata. Yeah, we'll leave the hero orbs for next turn so we can steal and then rainbow. Alright, so it used the Albus orb change, that's fine. And it's hitting the hero, so also that's fine. So, we can yoink those. Thank you. Bring Rimuru in. Rainbow those orbs, and then bring the other Rimuru in. And I think we're going to do pretty good damage here. Again, we'll have the element buff, we'll have synergy, we'll have the guaranteed crits, and the crit damage. So I think we should be looking pretty good. We don't need all these rainbow orbs, but we're going to get them anyways. So we've taken out Hinata. Hopefully whoever comes in doesn't do anything too crazy. I didn't actually look. Mirren. Okay, that's fine. Okay, she can't do much. She can do the continuous heal, but it doesn't really matter if they're just dead. So, 130 points. Again, even if he wasn't skill fused, we would still have more than enough to do this. So, crit buff, synergy buff. I mean, you could bring Violet here and you could use the magic buff instead. I mean, instead of the synergy buff, either way would work. You don't need Guy here. And let's see how much damage we end up doing. Actually, will Soe get the crit buff? He's on Tempest Elite. Yeah, he will. Alright. So Rimuru, 72k. Yeah, when they only have 30-something k to begin with, 72k is perfectly fine. Alright. I'm not going to take him into, like, ranked Valor or anything, but it's certainly a serviceable amount of damage for anyone who just needs to clear Valor Cup. You know, and has some extra tools. Maybe you don't have New Year's Rimuru, but again, you don't need the rainbow orbs, you just need 6, and you need enough points to use both those buffs, so. Alright, you know, First Anniversary Rimuru, he's a pretty good character. He's still pretty old. He does have some uses, and he's essentially, most importantly, free. So if you don't have him, build him up. You might find some use for him later down the line. But let me know what you guys think. That's it from me. Take it easy, and I will see you all later.